ओम अज्ञानातिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। Okay. Okay. Looks like here we don't have the next two shlokas, so I'll just share my screen. Hold on 1 second. Yeah. Okay, so chapter 9. Today we'll be doing shloka 9.11 and 9.12. अवाजनन्ति मम मूढ़ा मनुष्यं तनुम आश्रितं परम भावम अजानन्तो मम भूता महेश्वरम. Translation: Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the supreme Lord of all that be. 9.12. Mogasha moga karmano moga jnana vichetacha rakshasim asurim cheva prakritim mohinim shritaha. Translation: Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. So here it's like the Lord Krishna is telling, because he comes in a human form, 2 hands, 2 legs, just like humans. Um, they, they are not able to understand that this is Supreme Personality of Godhead. They don't know that. So they think they are bewildered because of that, and are attracted by something like demonic and atheistic views. And in that case, whatever they do, it's the purpose is defeated. Everything. So we'll just see what Prabhupada says regarding this. Okay. So here Lord Krishna is saying, Avajananti, mam mudaha. Avajananti, deride, mam, me, muda, foolish men. Muda means the foolish. Srila Prabhupada says the muda means the foolish, like animals or less than animals. He gives an example that an ass is called a muda. Avajananti means deride at me. Any person who does not believe in God, he must be either a madman or foolish man of highest level. So Srila Prabhupada says that there is no reason to not believe in God. There is every reason to believe in God. So therefore, an atheist or an unbeliever, he must be a first-class foolish man. This is a comparison. So there is no other reason that one can deny the existence of God. It is very simple reasoning that who has given. You can ask yourself, like, who has given us this power to talk, to act, or to do things. So things like that, whatever we do with our body, and if he withdraws this power from us, then what is our value? So Sri Prabhupada says that how can anyone boast that I don't believe in God? This very power of speaking is the proof that there is a greatest authority who gives you everything. So the senses we have got, this knowledge acquiring senses, and so it's not, this world is not moving by on its own, right? There is a system behind this. Anybody can understand. Everything falls into place with precision. planets are revolving, it's in the higher space, and they are there, uh, and things are going on, right? So every day there is a day, there is a night, sun and moon come. So like that, um, where are we getting our sources of food and all that? So one can say they are planting, but then the seed actually, where did it come from, right? And the Mother Earth, which gives, which is like a womb for these seeds, everything flourishes. So all that, anybody can understand that there's superpower behind this thing. So therefore, the Krishna conscious person, he knows that everything, whatever I have got, it is not under my control. The controller is somebody else. There is controller is different. I am simply using it. Person who has the ability to talk, work, etc. But if the power of working is immediately withdrawn, then what is that state of that person, right? Srila Prabhupada says that then it's like it's a paralyzed state. Can you revive this working power? No, we cannot. I mean, there's some power behind this thing. A wealthy man might have a lot of money, he can go to hospital, get the best treatment. But why things are happening? So sometimes people are able to spend so much money, but they cannot fix that thing. So there's some power beyond us. There is some power behind this thing, what is happening. So anybody can understand that I'm not the controller. There's some controller is somebody else. So how can one deny God, the controller? There is something beyond us. If I don't believe in God, still I must believe that there is some power beyond me, which is controlling my every step, everything. Either call it God or anything, nature, but there is a controlling power. So therefore, anyone who denies the existence of God, he is a foolish man. He is not very intelligent man. So Krishna says, Manusim Tanum Ashritam. Manusim, Manushim in a human form, Tanum, a body, Ashritam, assuming. Krishna is saying that because he was present on this earth just like a human being with some supernatural power, still people, almost 99% he gives an example, he states that they could not recognize him, that he is the supreme power, supreme personality of God. Very few people, chosen ones, they were able to know that this is supreme person, this is supreme personality of God. Param bhavam ajanantah. Param, transcendental, bhavam, nature, ajananta, not knowing. Why? Because they have no eyes. They don't have the spiritual or transcendental vision to see the Lord. How can we recognize God? Well, we can recognize God if we get some supernatural power, evidence of authorities or scriptural evidence. So these things are there. For example, Sri Prabhupada says, many places mention that if somebody says that he is God, then you can simply ask him, as there were many people who have said that they are God and all that. So any intelligent person, if they have evidence of the scriptures or if their guru has told them, then they can simply ask, okay, show us the universal form if you are God. They'll make excuses. There are many other things you can, which give evidence, which are evidence from the scriptures or from the authorities. So these things are required. So far Krishna is concerned, every authority has accepted him as God, and when he was present, his activities were superhuman. And from the evidence of Vedic literature, it is confirmed that he is God. Then in spite of all these evidences, if one does not believe in him, then it must be considered or understood that asuram bhavam, that I shall not believe. But in that case, to such a person, no matter what evidence you give or activities you may show, that person will never believe in Krishna being God. So in that case, it's a helpless condition. So also, one must have the eyes to see the God. God cannot be seen with our imperfect senses. We need spiritual senses. We need to spiritualize these senses. Then we can realize God, or we are imparted spiritual vision. Then we can see God in person, face to face. So this bhakti yoga is the process of purifying the senses, which enables us to understand what is God, what is spirit, what is soul. So it requires anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktir uttama. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 19.167. When first class devotional service develops, one must be devoid of all material desires, knowledge obtained by monastic philosophy, and fruitive action. So these things, these three things are to be, we need to get rid of. We should not have these. No material desires, no monastic philosophy, knowledge related to that, and fruitive action. That is we doing fruiting action activities for our own sense gratification, that should not be there. So when God is there, we understand that, we realize that, then we need to serve, do everything for him, for his pleasure. So the devotees must constantly serve Krishna in favorable mood, as Krishna desires, not in a whimsical manner. We have the process and given in Nectar of Devotion or Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and things, many other books which Goswamis have given. So like that. So in Narada Pancharatra, unless one is in a what do you call? So there is a Vedi Bhakti, Sadhana Bhakti part of that, and there is Bhava. Once you realize that, in that case you will have your, you will act according to your Swarupa, your Nitya Seva, your eternal service. In that mood you would serve, but you should serve it in mentally, while still following the rules and regulations. To the people, it might look that you are still following rules and regulations, but in your heart, in your mind, you are serving the Lord in your Nitya Seva, Nitya service, and in Nitya spiritual form. So like that. So in Narada Pancharatra, there is a verse, Sarvopadhi Vinirmuktam Tat Paratvena Nirmalam Hrishikena Hrishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Uchate. This is also in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 19.170. Bhakti or devotional service means engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master of all the senses. When the spirit soul renders service unto the Supreme, there are going to be two side effects. One is freed from all material designations. Two, one's senses are purified simply by being employed in the service of the Lord. So when we talk about this Bhakti Yoga, this Sadhana Bhakti, Vairi Bhakti, so when we follow the rules and regulations, when we take to this process, we start, and slowly with time, we will get realization in association of devotees when we'll be corrected, or we'll start following as the Rupa Goswami has given. So in that case, we'll get rid of all material designations. We'll be inspired from inside to get rid of all material designations. One's senses are purified. That will be not misused for our own sense gratification, but will be employed for serving the Lord. So this Bhakti Yoga is simply a process of purifying. We have got these knowledge acquiring senses. As soon as we purify all our senses, power of seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, and smelling, but if the senses are blunt, then we cannot understand what is God. Therefore, it requires a regulative principle to understand what is God. So, which Srila Rupa Goswami has given these instructions in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and it's also mentioned in Bhagavad-gītā and many places in Srimad Bhagavatam. This detail related to this, that regulative principle must be undertaken. We also know that when we take initiation from a guru in ISKCON, in Gaudiya Parampara, then we have these four regulative principles: no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. So which is like no speculation. So all these things we take a vow and we follow that. So these regulative principles must be undertaken. And the most easiest regulative principle is this chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this is the only prescribed method for this Kali Yuga, for this age of quarrel and hypocrisy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understanding this thing, that this is how the Kali Yuga is going to be, and people will not be able to get out of this thing on their own. So he, in the form of his name, in the form of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, this is mercy personified. He's giving us the easiest process. So we take to this thing, we get purified with time, and we realize how we should act. So if you properly chant with devotion, without any offense, then this very simple process will help you to purify your senses. And you will appreciate the presence of God, and God consciousness, Krishna consciousness will develop in you. This Srila Prabhupada gives all these details. So Param Bhavam Ajananta Mam Bhuta Maheshwaram, Mam Mai Bhuta, of everything that be, Maha Ishwaram, the supreme proprietor. People do not know what is the inconceivable power and potency of God. Therefore, they think God must be somebody like me, an ordinary human being, and they cannot understand God. So if we take to this process which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given, And Srila Rupa Goswami, who took instructions from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he has given this wonderful literature, books like Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and many other small books. And other Goswamis have also given these details. If we read that and we follow that, and we take to this Bhagavad-gītā, Srimad Bhagavatam, then we get purified. And chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. So all these are part of the devotional service, Bhakti Yoga. So the next one is, so why these bewildered or those attracted by demonic and atheistic views and in deluded condition, why they cannot understand? So mogasha means whatever they are aspiring, whatever they are desiring, that will be baffled. Karmi means the fruitive actors. They are always hoping for something better, and there is no limit to it. They'll never stop. So in spite of having so much money, this so much bank balance, they want more. There is no end to it. They're always scheming, thinking, and planning and devising ways to get more, acquire more money, so they can do more sense gratification. They are never content. And so this is how it is. This will keep. This is Maya. This is material nature. It will keep them busy. So somebody has to guide them. So in a miserable condition, when somebody is bewildered, I mean, so association of devotees, and if they somehow by kripa or mercy of the devotees, they get this association and they stick to them, they hang out with them, they understand and they follow the instructions, then they can get out of a miserable condition. Otherwise, there is no hope. There is no end to this. There is no this Maya. This illusory potency is very powerful. It will keep you busy throughout your life. You might start with something small, then you would want to expand, do more business. You can do things like creating rocket, go to outer space. There is no end to it. You can always think of many ways that it will keep you here forever and ever. So only mercy of Lord in the form of his devotees, his instructions, can get such people out of this miserable condition of being in illusion or ignorance. So Moga means they are hoping to be very happy at a certain point, but that point never comes. This means Moga Shah, because he does not know what is the ultimate point of my satiation. Na te vidu swartha gatim hi vishnum durashaya ye bahir artha manina. In Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 5th chapter, 31st verse. Persons who are strongly entrapped by the consciousness of enjoying material life and who have therefore accepted as their leader or guru a similar blind man attached to external sense objects cannot understand that the goal of life is to return home back to Godhead and engage in the service of Lord Vishnu. So as a blind man guided by another blind man has missed the right path and fallen into a ditch, materially attached men led by another materially attached man are bound by the ropes of fruitive labor, which are made of very strong cords, and they continue again and again in materialistic life, suffering the threefold miseries. So, blind man leading another blind man. So both are in a similar condition, but one accepts another person as to guide. That will not lead out of a miserable condition. It will always keep them in dark. So see, the formula even in bhakti is, if you want to improve in anything, this is everywhere, this is in everything, whether it's sports or business or spiritual life, you should hang out, you should associate with somebody who's better than you in that thing. So if you want to get out of this miserable condition, out of this illusory potency, out of this material life, you need to associate with somebody who's better than you. I mean, the best thing is to be associating with Uttamadhikari, the top, but still associating with devotees will lead you. But you should always hang out, always associate with somebody who's better than you, and you will also give association to somebody who is new to this thing, and if you are advanced, you can guide them. But you should always associate or take instructions or be under the supervision of somebody who's better than you. Then you can improve. Otherwise, you will be still where you are in that place. So this works out in sports also, whether you're preparing for Olympics or anything, in business also, because they will guide you in that field. So in spiritual life also, this is applicable. So people who are enamored by the external beauty of this illusory material energy, they cannot understand that what is the aim of an objective of life. Therefore, they are mogasha. So blind leading blind, because that person himself is in the miserable condition he cannot give you advice of something he doesn't know to get out of this darkness, of this ignorance. He can do is he can tell what he has achieved, right? But if somebody is in darkness and he has no intention to be out of darkness, that person wants to be in miserable condition, then he is not, then he cannot lead, or then he cannot guide you out of this miserable condition. So this is why Srila Prabhupada says blind leading blind. So because they are with ignorant materialistic people, they'll be there in that pitch darkness. So they should hang out with devotees, they should associate with devotees. So then they can be out of that miserable condition. Moga karmana means fruitless, baffled, whatever they are doing, but at the end of the day, they will find it is frustration. This will continue to increase. They are not happy. So Srila Prabhupada gives an example of his experience in India when he was trying to preach. He was trying to reach out to so many leaders. So he also happened to reach out to Mahatma Gandhi, and he was very enamored or impressed by Mahatma Gandhi initially. So Mahatma Gandhi, he says, he was a great worker for national, and he worked for national emancipation. But at the end, he was so much disgusted that Srila Prabhupada says that he has seen it personally. Wherever he used to go, he used to plug his ears. Why? Because wherever he went, thousands of people would gather and will chant or say Mahatma Gandhi ki jai, Mahatma Gandhi ki jai. So he would not even be able to sleep. The person, as soon as there is they get idea that Mahatma Gandhi is coming in their area, at least large number of people, at least 5,000 people will gather, and they will again start chanting, crying loudly, Mahatma Gandhi ki jai. So at the last stage of his life, he could not sleep due to this condition. And very morning when he was assassinated, he was killed by shot by bullet. So he said to his secretary, I am so much disgusted, I wish to die. So this very word was published in the paper at the time. So it's such a big work. Still, he felt baffled. Now, what to speak of others? This is how it is. Even in improving, even achieving so much materialistically, if you have not made any spiritual progress, what is the condition? You are in that miserable, frustrating, baffled condition. So moga karmana. So unless we become Krishna conscious, then all our activities will be baffled at the end. What Krishna is saying, not ordinary person like me. Krishna is moga sha, moga karmano, moga jnanaha. Moga sha, baffled in their hopes, moga karmana, baffled in fruitive activities, moga jnanaha, baffled in knowledge, moga jnana. Jnana means research of knowledge, philosophical speculation. So without Krishna consciousness, without this definite point, now if you have got sufficient knowledge, if you have such power for research, here is the point that Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you can refer to scriptures and realize yourself, you can do research, and you can appreciate that, reach a conclusion that Krishna is God. Or if you can start that, you are pessimistic, Krishna is not God, still take to research. And if you continue to progress, you reach out to scriptures, you will come to the realization that Krishna is God, Krishna is Bhagwan. So without any point of aim, without any objective, it's all speculation otherwise, and you can be speculating for thousands of years. So it is devotees, it is scriptures as it is delivered, then you can be out of this condition. So Panthastu koti shata vatsara sampragamyo vayur athapi manaso muni pungavanam so api asti yat prapada simni avichintya tatve govindamadi purusham tamam bhajami. From Brahma Samhita 5.34, I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, only the tip of the toe of whose lotus feet is approached by the yogis who aspire after the transcendental and betake themselves to pranayama by drilling the respiration, or by the jnanis who try to find out the non-differentiated Brahman by the process of elimination of the mundane extending over thousands of millions of years. Govinda, the Supreme Lord, he is so vast that you cannot reach him by your mental speculation. Mental speculation is not the process. So Panthas koti shata vatsara. Koti means 10 millions and koti shata vatsara. Similarly, millions and millions of years. With the speed of air and with the speed of mind, if you proceed to speculate, to understand the Supreme Krishna, the Supreme Person, it is not possible. You can continue to speculate for millions of years. Still, you will not reach There is no end to it. So many speculators at the Srila Prabhupada gives an example at his time, contemporary, but even still, you will have so many speculators in the present moment, in the past also. They never reach the point. There is not a single instance that they have reached this point. So the speculation process will not help. Vichedasha means they are bewildered, and that God cannot be perceived by your own endeavor unless God reveals before you. Just like if you want to see the sun at night time when there is darkness all over, do you have a machine? Srila Prabhupada says, do you have an apparatus or any searchlight? You can show sun. You can't. It is not possible. So if you cannot see material thing, the sun at night with your own endeavor, even a material thing like sun, so do you think, is it possible by your own endeavor you will see God? It is not possible. So scriptures recommend again and again Guru. So Jivatma, that is us, we have to surrender to the Guru. We have to be led by the Guru. Then we will understand, realize Krishna. Then it will be revealed to us who Krishna is, who Bhagwan is. We will have the proper knowledge and understanding because he's also inside. So he'll inspire us. So usually the scriptures give an analogy. Jivatma is like a lotus flower, and Guru is like the water, and Krishna is like the sun. So, if without the water, the lotus flower, even if it's blooming, it will deter, it will deter, it will diminish. But if you keep the same lotus flower in cooling water, then you will get all the protection, all the necessary ingredients, all the inspiration, because Guru has already realized, so he gives you that protection. He gives you Guru is like that water, which gives you the base, the foundation. So one needs to have a Guru to realize the supreme person, which is compared as Krishna. Same sun, one will not be able to realize the sun otherwise. If there is no water, there is no Guru. So that is how it is. So those who have taken this line with faith and love, always engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, of Krishna, Buddhi Yogam, Dadamitam, then from within, Krishna is within us. We know that preliminary portion of Krishna, Paramatma. So he is within us, guiding us. Due to our material conception of life, we have no realization. So we have to realize that Krishna is there, and we have to purify ourselves, our senses, by service attitude. And Guru is like leading us by setting an example. So then Krishna will reveal. We can see in state of perfection. We can see supreme being, person, eye to eye. So mogasha moga karmano moga. So rakshasim asurim cheva prakritim mohinim ashrita. So rakshasi means those who are atheists. They are called rakshasas. Rakshasas and asuras. Those who are always against God are called asuras, and rakshasas means they don't believe in God. Mohinim prakriti, mohinim moga jnanaha, babbled in knowledge, vichetasha, bewildered. So mohinim prakritim, nature, mohinim, bewildering. They are bewildered by this illusory material energy. They think that this is life. There is no God, there is no life. Let us enjoy as much as possible. Try to squeeze out as much as possible from this matter. And when they don't enjoy, they are frustrated. Mogasha, baffled in every respect. So squeezing to take the essence of this material pleasure, they are baffled. After earning so much money, thousands of dollars, still they try to go to enjoy and try to squeeze out of it. They do not find any pleasure. So that is not possible. That is not the process to find out the real pleasure. If you have to find the real pleasure, then you have to take to this Krishna consciousness. You have to be trained up in Krishna consciousness. Then you will have to change our habit in this way. Then you can find Krishna. So Ramante Yogina Anante Satyanande Chaitanya Charitamrita, unlimited happiness which will never end. The supreme absolute truth is called Rama because the transcendentalists take pleasure in the unlimited true pleasure of spiritual existence. That is real happiness. That has no end. So is there happiness in this material world, in our sense enjoyment, which does not end or will never end? Everything in this material world, it has a beginning and an end. Some for a few minutes, some few hours, some few seconds, but it certainly comes to an end. This material enjoyment, material pleasure. Whether you're going to watch movie in theater, in cinema, of your favorite actor, eating your favorite ice cream or food, dining in a favorite restaurant, experience of driving your favorite car, your new luxury car, or travel trip to your favorite holiday destination, it has a beginning and it has an end. It all comes to an end. You can try to do it again and again, but that has a beginning and an end. It is not permanent, it is not eternal. So that is not real pleasure. That is not real happiness because it has end. So this real happiness, we have to search, and for this we have to undertake some voluntary penance. So to get unlimited happiness, so if one is not prepared to sacrifice anything, then one will not reach the ultimate purpose. So what is that sacrifice they have to make? People have to make. We have to sacrifice a little time. We have to maybe go to a temple or attend a morning class, hear the Bhagavad-gītā, chant in association of devotees. So this sacrifice will be very beneficial. It will learn so much by just sacrificing little time. Instead of going for some material sense gratification, if we spend some time for realizing self, Supreme Personality of Godhead, self-realization, then this is beneficial. So now for this age, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has mercifully given us easiest process for God realization, and there is no comparison to it. Simply we have to sacrifice a little time, Shravanam, here. We don't have to pay any money. Simply you have to sit and patiently hear the katha or scriptural discourse. Then we will realize that this is such a nice thing because Paramatma is seated us. He will guide us more and more into this direction. So Lord Chaitanya therefore recommends this process. In this age, no other process will help us for self-realization, but this process, Sthane Sthita Shruti Gatam Tanu Van Manubhi. So those who, even while remaining situated in their established social position, throw away the process of speculative knowledge, and with the body, words, and mind, offer all respects to descriptions of your personality, that is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and activities, dedicating their lives to these narrations, which are vibrated by you personally, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and by your pure devotees, his Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates. Certainly conquer your lordship, although you are otherwise unconquerable by anyone within the three worlds. So irrespective of whatever social positions, it doesn't matter. You don't have to leave. Whatever you are doing, you can continue to do. It doesn't matter. You can just take to this process. Shruti means this oral reception. We have to receive this word little submissively. Namanta eva. Don't think that we are very knowledgeable. We have knowledge because our knowledge is very limited and is impure, imperfect. We should not get puffed up with this false thinking that I'm very learned. Just become a little gentle and submissive and hear these messages, instructions from Krishna. So just try to adjust your mind, body, words, and hear the Srimad Bhagavad-gītā, which is spoken by a Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. And people can ask questions, and you can, whatever reasoning you have, arguments, you can doubts, you can be cleared by asking. You don't have to accept it blindly. This is spiritual science, Krishna consciousness, and there is answer to it. So this is how Lord is guiding us, and finally you will see the result. So Rakshasim, but in spite of all these facilities, the Lord says the Rakshasim Asurim Cheva. Those who are Rakshasa are called man-eaters. Prabhupada says that they are like man-eaters. For their self-satisfaction, they can eat even their own sons. They have no shame. So my sense gratification should be satisfied. That is what they desire all the time. So it doesn't matter what happens to the other person. So this is how the Rakshasas are. So this is how the present age is. Srila Prabhupada gives this example. So you can know this world is now managed by the Rakshasas because this is the mentality they have. They don't mind what is happening. They are prepared to sacrifice everything for fulfilling their own whimsical nonsense. They are called Rakshasa. Rakshasim Asurim Cheva Prakritim Mohinim Shritaha. Why they are very much enamored by this material body, the material civilization, they cannot understand. It is very difficult for them. So they'll never try to understand because they are Rakshasa. This is the condition. So then who will understand God? It is Srila Prabhupada says that it is Mahatma, and we'll get more detail regarding this, the Mahatma, in the next shloka. So thank you, Prabhuji Mataji. Thanks for joining this morning chanting and shloka recitation. Please continue to join and take the benefit. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. So if anybody has any question regarding this, please ask before we call it a day. Okay. Okay, so if nobody has any questions,
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.